and this is our Southern Nest Adventure, the Sunday edition, episode number 8. If you are new to my channel, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. I hope you enjoy what you hear. Please give us a like, a thumbs up, and subscribe. That would be fantastic. The Sunday edition, to newcomers here that don't know about the Sunday edition is basically a discussion video where I talk about things or issues that have gone in the community in the last week, and where I where I have maybe a different opinion, or maybe I agree with, or maybe I want to talk further about the issue, and maybe inform or educate newcomers to the hobby and to YouTube. So today I would like to discuss a couple of things that have to do with privacy and how much privacy can you expect being on YouTube. Right off the bat, YouTube is a social media platform. Social media means social, meaning everyone, meaning it's not, in its definition alone, it is not a private forum. If you have a video that you like to keep private, there is an option for you to privatize certain videos, and you can send the links then to certain people that you choose, and only those people can watch this video. Anything else that is being put on the public platform is for the world to see and to screenshot, to talk about, to copy. There is no privacy. The platform itself belongs to YouTube, and only YouTube gets to decide what is being taken down and what can stay up. So far, I have not had anything really that I had to take down, so I must be doing okay. Another thing as far as privacy is concerned, again with the membership issue, if you have a membership account and you have members that follow you, that again is still social media, and you have no say so as to what your members now do with this information that you provide. It has always been an honest system. I've been in memberships in other communities for a while now. I mean, huge channels, like a couple million people, and I talk about what I've learned in these memberships all the time. And the creators love the fact that we talk about it, because it's advertising for them. Because other people get to hear what we get to hear first, or other information that the general public maybe not get to hear. So they want to then also subscribe, because they want to be informed as well, or get all these perks as well. So, you know, YouTube creators don't have an issue. As a matter of fact, they welcome us talking about memberships and what we learned in the memberships. If there is, however, like a situation where, for instance, in this doll community, you have a doll that is brand new to you, to your collection, and you want to offer something special to your members, and you then ask them, you know, can you please keep that a secret for 2 days or 24 hours? I'll give, you know, and in 24 hours I will make this doll public to the general audience. That is always an honor system that, you know, anybody that is a member can then agree to that or not agree to that. It's up to them. Normally, if you're in good standing with the members, everybody will agree to it. If you, however, make enemies or have issues or conflicts with people in the community, and then you have a membership, then then that can become very dicey. Let's talk about very briefly about my membership, or actually is Pixie's membership channel that I joined, and I received, just to clarify for the whole community, just so nothing is left unsaid, undone, or is questioned in any way, shape, or form. I received a phone call from um, uh, from Shelby, and it was relating to something else, and we started talking about this membership that I was in with on Pixie Mommy's Reborns, and she asked me, why I was in this membership. Why don't I just leave the membership, since Pixie does not want me there and I don't want to be there, or whatever the situation might be. And I just told her that she knew what the reason was, is because Pixie talks about behind my back on her channel, and that's why. And so Shelby then proceeded to say, well, if you were not on the channel, then she wouldn't be talking about you. So I said to her, well, you know what, let's do it this way. Why don't you go to Pixie, since you're on her channel, you're a friend of hers now. That has kind of like been a flip-flopping situation too. So you're now a friend of hers, you're on her channel. Why don't you give her a message and tell her she can if she takes down the video she has about me calling me uneducated and a liar and a scammer and whatever else, and she publicly, puts a short video out saying that she will not ever talk about me or any member of this community in a negative light on her channel, on her membership channel, I'll be very happy to unsubscribe. I have no problem with that. I have never divulged anything that's on her channel. I have never commented on anything on her channel. I have not ever spoken about any dolls or anything that she shows on her channel, because that's not my interest. That's not what I'm there for. I'm there to protect myself only. And Shelby basically said to that is never going to happen. She will never do that. So that tells me that there is no good faith here. Because if that was me, I would be absolutely no problem. Yeah, I don't talk about people on my membership channel. I will not talk about people. That has never been my intention. And yeah, I will make that public. I will publicly say that, and I will take that video down. And if that's what it takes, I've put an olive branch out back in, I think, December with the Reborn Doll Collectives and Pixie and Katie and whoever else was involved in this whole thing, saying, look, I refunded the money for this doll, and I want this not to be over with. I'm taking everything off my channel. You need to take everything off your channel, because we need to all move on already. And they didn't want to do that. So, what choice do I then have? I don't have another choice. And that's one thing that I want to, really make very clear here too, especially the young people. Do not give out your phone number to anyone on YouTube unless you are, like, you know them or you trust them like you would trust your own parents or your siblings. Other than that, do not give out your phone number, please. It's not good. What else do I want to talk about? Okay, as far as I heard something about certain people here thinking that there's no privacy on these channels. Everybody gets involved in everything, and yeah, there is privacy if you if you keep it private. If you pick up the phone and call people, then that's private. Anything you put on YouTube, it's not private, and especially live streams. Now, I was sent a couple of screenshots of a live stream that was created by, I believe it was the Reborn Doll Collectives. And I wasn't there. I was just sent the screenshots because everybody knows it just makes my blood boil, and I really don't want to go there because it's really, it's why. It's, some people, they're just, you can't help them and you can't understand them and they will never understand you, so why go with it? So anyway, so here is, I'm going to leave a couple of screenshots at the end of my vlog. Because what I have found out in the last 3 or 4 months is that if you see something that is wrong or see something that's incorrect or people act inappropriately in this community and you have a problem with it, you need to take screenshots and keep that. That's called evidence. And or receipts. Here in this community it's called receipts. I call it evidence. I always found that very sad that you need evidence in any community to prove your point or to prove that you are not lying about anything. But I guess in this community you do need to have this proof. So in the beginning, the first 6 months of being here, I deleted everything because I don't have as much storage in my phones, and I really didn't think it was necessary really to save every conversation, every screenshot, every text, every email. And I guess that alone was a mistake. So there was a video, I guess, that was not a video, live from the Reborn Doll Collective, and a couple of her friends were in there. One of them was there was My Little World Katie, Kelly Girl was in there, Pixie Mommy was in there, and then a couple of other ones that I really don't need to mention because I'll leave the screenshot at the end and you can look at it yourself. And a lot of it had to do with, I guess, still this issue with the Dollotarium and box openings and what should you do if you're not happy with the doll. And I found some of these responses here pretty interesting. They're not in particular order here. I'm picking a couple of them out here that I found interesting. So they were talking about what should you do if you have an issue with a doll that you paid, a lot of money. These dolls are expensive. They are not cheap. And just because they're dolls and they're in the community and this is a hobby does not make them any less expensive and does not make $500 or $1,000 or $1,500 worth any less money. To a lot of people, $1,000 is a lot of money. To most people in America, especially for a hobby. So to minimize that, I think is ridiculous and it's a slap in the face. So at one point, My Little World's Katie says, I would try to discuss the issue with someone with more experience. Then Kelly Girl responds, if it's a true ripoff, I would first ask the seller to refund, and if the answer is no, then file a claim. If I couldn't file a claim, then I would sell the doll as is. So, 2 issues I have there, and 2 remarks I want to say to that. One is, yes, you should discuss it with the seller privately, which I have done. On my behalf, I can't talk for Dollotarium. I don't know what she did behind closed doors with her seller, but I have done this privately the minute I received this doll, the minute I did this box opening, and try to put it in a good light because it is a lot of pressure. You don't want to put a video out that depicts another reborn community member in a bad light without having some facts. And at that point, considering the woman has been here for 4 or 5 years, I had no reason to believe that she would not do the right thing in the end. So I was completely fine with doing the box opening the way I did. So that's to Katie's comment here. As far as Kelly is concerned, if it's a true ripoff, well, nobody knows if it's a true ripoff. You know, if the pictures don't look like the doll, you know, I think I've heard you, Kelly, actually say that, you know, pictures don't always look the same, and pictures look different than the doll in person, and therefore, you know, you take a chance. I think you say that somewhere in here. I think that's just a cop-out. If I, for instance, buy a bracelet from Tiffany online, and the bracelet gets to me and I don't like it because it doesn't look like it does on the website, I send the Tiffany bracelet back, and Tiffany will refund me my money. Bottom line, that's just how business works. That's business. That's how business works. It's no different for a doll, for a collectible doll that is worth, you know, upwards of $1,000, $2,000. There's no difference here. Period. End of story. This is all smoke and mirrors here right now. And then she said, asked her, I sell her for a refund, which I said, either give me a refund. That's what I said to Ines. Either give me a refund or fix the doll, or give me some money so I can get the doll fixed. None of it was acceptable, and all of it was denied. So that obviously didn't work for me. And then my little girl Katie says, I would most definitely try to talk to the seller and would offer a restocking fee to cover for the time and efforts. Well, that's basically what I did too. I offered to offer the shipping for this doll, and I would have paid for anything else. If she wanted a restocking fee, that would have been fine too. I didn't want to give up this baby. I wanted her to fix it. Because why would I buy a baby for $950 that I 5 minutes later don't want? It makes zero sense. It makes zero sense to anybody. Either you like the baby, you don't like the baby. And if you go like 6 months, like I think it was like in April I made a video. April of last year I made a video about this baby where I clearly said, I like this baby. I like the way Leticia Moreno painted this baby. I like the way she rooted the baby. I liked everything about the baby. What I didn't like was I didn't like the fact that the magnet shifted, that she wasn't in her original body, that the box opening was horrible, and that at that point I had no more connection to this doll because of the way I was treated when I had an issue with this doll. That is very important. And it's always forgotten with these few people here. Anyway, so let's go further. Kelly girl, I've always told people to do their inspection of the doll before they upload the box opening video. That one I find very, very interesting, because I'm wondering if she did that, if she gave that same advice to her good friend Ines when she had a great box opening by a great artist in Germany with all the bells and whistles. It was all great, wonderful, the best box opening ever. She actually even advertised this box opening the day before in a live where she said that she promised this artist a box opening on her channel, which she then did, and she showed the baby the next day or 2 days later. I have the video up, I think from last week, where I talked about this issue, only for it to be gone like two or 3 days later. This baby was completely gone off her channel. The box opening is deleted. Everything about this baby is deleted. And in October, like 6 weeks later, a new, the same sculpt, but a new version of the sculpt appears looking completely different. Now clearly what happened there with, let's not do a box opening, let's do the box opening, um, this was not a live box opening, this was a tape box opening. She didn't have to post that. She didn't have to post that box opening. She could have just kept it private and just say, um, send the doll back. I mean, I'm glad she didn't, because we would have never known that she did that, that she sent the doll back. Now we all know. So, it's like that was like a faux pas on her part. And then of course Pixie Mom chimes in, exactly. I wouldn't post a box opening if I was unhappy afterwards. Yeah, again, ask your buddy Ines about that. It seems to me, and it seems to a lot of people here, there's a double standard in this community as to what is expected of certain people here. If you are a friend of Ines, Kelly, Pixie, Katie, and maybe 4 or 5 people that watch them, then yeah, everything is okay. You can blacklist people. You can not honor your sales. You can return dolls even even if they're worth $4,100, and just know the community, and everybody's just mum about it, and you can just screw an artist over, and that is completely fine. But nobody else here gets to do that. I found that ridiculous. Um, um, and then Kelly Girl says the scary part is that this is becoming more and more common, which is not okay. Well, you know what? It takes 2 people to make a sale not honorable. Usually a buyer has no intention of having a conflict. No buyer goes intentionally and says, oh, you know what? I'm going to buy one of Pixie's dolls because I just want to make her life miserable. I'm just going to buy this doll and just send it back because I don't like it. I'm going to make a whole, bunch of drama. Who would do that in their right mind? Who would want to have my life in the last year and a half of being assaulted by these people over a doll sale? Nobody. So that's ridiculous. So most of the drama that starts here comes from the sellers. If the sellers would do the right thing and keep things private, make the buyer happy, there would not be an issue here. Period. End of story. Let's see what else here. Milo World. I would most definitely try to talk to the seller and would offer a restocking fee. Okay, we already talked about that. And then Kelly said, I've never made a video about an unhappy doll sale. Not ever. It was always kept between me and the other person. Which, that's what it should be. I tried to do that, but it wasn't okay. Let's see what else here. Pixie Mind says, right, the doll was one. Okay, if the doll was 1 ounce off, so I'm doing a chargeback. No, if the doll is 1 ounce off, you wouldn't do a chargeback because 1 ounce off, you don't know. And nobody would do that. You do a chargeback if there's an issue with the doll, the seller is not agreeable to either fix the doll or compensate you for having either you fixing the doll, taking your time, your resource into fixing this doll, or take the doll back. If none of this is working, you do a chargeback. Period. End of story. And then she says, this entire community really needs to come together and completely stop feeding into these few vicious people doing a lot of damage here. Well, vicious? Really? It's vicious when you ask to have a doll that clearly has a magnet, has a pacifier in its mouth on a picture. that is on a sales picture, okay, a has a has a pacifier on the mouth, not on the eye, not on the head, not on the chin, on the mouth. And the doll comes in a certain body that was shown in the box opening of this doll, and a month later the same doll gets sold, and it is up to the seller, up to the buyer then, to do research as to what has happened between the time of the box opening and the time of the sale, to find out if there was anything changed on this doll. That's ridiculous. If that would have been an eBay sale or a PayPal sale or an Etsy sale, that doll would have been returned immediately. So yeah, so you know what, Pixie, you can just stop right there. Then Kelly says, talking about the situation is different than making a video bashing people. Yeah, exactly. Who started the bashing here? That would have been your buddy Inez that started bashing me a day after that video, when I had a phone call with her and email, and said to her, maybe it wasn't a phone call, it was email only, beg your pardon. It was an email only where I talked to her about this. It was late at night, and the very next morning she comes out and attacks me on her channel. So again, you know, cat calling kettle black. Talking about the situation is different than making a video bashing people. I think it's important to share your experience, so I think that what you did was the right thing. Kelly, again, people like that should go to doll shows and only buy dolls in person. Okay, like I said before. So, in other words, what you're saying is, anybody buying anything online, doesn't matter if it's a doll, if it's a pair of shoes, if it's a blanket, needs to keep whatever they're buying, because that's what they see and that's what they should be getting. Now, my question to you, Kelly, is this. How many things have you returned that you bought online, that when you got it, you didn't like, it didn't look the same when you received it, it was not, it did not have, you know, was maybe not the right size, maybe the color is different than what it showed, maybe it's darker, maybe it's lighter. How many things did, or maybe it just didn't fit into your living room, or the picture that you bought was too big for your wall that you wanted to hang it on? How many things have you returned? I can tell you a lot, like everyone. Okay, because that's what commerce is all about. That's what e-commerce is all about. You know, you buy things, and if you don't like it, or if something is wrong, or it doesn't fit, or whatever the reason might be, you know, you pay. A lot of times you don't even have to pay the shipping, like Amazon Prime. You don't even have to pay the shipping. You return things, you know, because pictures are very, very often not correct, and they don't show the whatever it is, whatever the item is, not correctly. So, and merchants know that, so they try to take as accurate pictures as possible. So why do you think that this is any different in buying $1,000 doll? It's not. A doll is not defective just because you don't like it. Seriously. Okay, well, nobody's talking about not liking it. Everybody's talking about if the doll is not as described. For instance, if the picture does not match the doll. It's not a very big deal. I don't understand. The problem here that I don't see is, if you believe in your product, and if you believe that you did the right thing, and you advertise this doll properly, that you have a very fair price for this doll that you're asking for, and somebody doesn't, for whatever reason it is, forget about defects, just because the picture is not right, or the picture, or the baby looks, more orange than what it does on the pictures, why would you then not take this doll back? I mean, if you believe in your product, just like I do, just like Bianca Franke, just like Jacqueline Kramer, everyone, maybe it's the German thing, I don't know, but we all take our dolls back. We give everybody 7 days, 14 days, whatever people want. I always ask, what do you want, 14 days, 7 days, and pick. And then if you just let me know when you get it, is everything okay, fine. If you don't like it usually within 7 days, let me know. I'll take the doll back. I've never received a doll back yet. But the fact that I give people the option makes people feel confident and comfortable dealing with me, because they know that it doesn't matter what the pictures look like that I sent them. It only matters how they feel about the doll. If this is what they want, if they love this doll, if this is the doll that they want, if this is the doll for them, if this is what they thought they were going to get. And if for any reason they feel like they are not getting what they thought they were getting, I man up and say, you know what, pictures are deceiving sometimes. That's just, the nature of the beast. And send me back the doll. I can sell it all day long to somebody else. And that's why I do have a very good rapport with my sellers. And they send me pictures, with my buyers. And they send me pictures and letting me know how the dolls are. And it's not that difficult to do. And most people here do that. There's only a couple that don't. And it's really horrible. Let's see what else. Here's Kelly Girl again. The way we buy in this hobby is totally by a leap of faith that we will love what shows up. Many times we don't love the doll. It's all part of the doll journey though. Sell if you don't love it. That is like the biggest bunch of horse poop that I have ever heard. So what you're trying to tell me, Kelly, is, okay, well, you know what? You're just throwing the dice when you buy a doll in the doll community. Because this is only for the doll community, because if you buy on Etsy, on Instagram, on eBay, no, that would not ever fly. Only in the Reborn community. So basically what you're saying is roll the dice for the $1,000. Maybe you like it, maybe you don't. If you don't like it, too bad. Then you have to sell it. And when you sell it, you take a loss. Period. Because it doesn't matter where you sell it. If you sell it on eBay, you have to pay 10% selling fees. And you have to make pictures. And you have to go through all the hoopla. Why? That is ridiculous. Nobody, can you imagine if Tiffany would say, you know what, this bracelet is $1,000 and we can't guarantee that you're going to like it. It's all a roll of the dice. If you don't like it, too bad. You have to keep it. Nobody would buy from them. Nobody. That is completely ridiculous. Asinine thinking. Completely. And then, of course, Pixie needs to chime in. You can make sure the magnet is in the exact place you want it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Pixie, exactly. Make sure the magnet is exactly where it's supposed to be, which is by the mouth, behind the mouth. Not behind the ears, not behind the eyes, not on the head, but by the mouth. Other than that, it doesn't matter how minimal the defect is. Make sure there is no defect. And if there is a defect, you fix it. Not a big problem. It shouldn't be a big problem, especially not you serious collectors and your seasoned collectors that have no problem changing a magnet, have no problem changing a body, have no problem dealing with glue and zip ties and have all this stuff readily available in your homes all the time. So let me ask you this, and if you are so seasoned, why would you have a problem fixing something for $950 or for $1,600? Why would you at $1,600 not put a nice box opening together? You know, somebody just said today or yesterday in a video, you know, or on, I don't know where it was, where I saw that comment, it said, yeah, if you get a more reasonable doll, you shouldn't expect a really great box opening, you know, which, yeah, that's fine. If you get a $400 doll, you don't expect $200 worth of merchandise, you know, but if you buy a $950 doll, yeah, you do expect at least at least one or two new outfits, not everything used. That's ridiculous. So as far as, you know, new people here, I can only stress enough. If you can, buy from Etsy, buy from eBay, buy from people that you know on here that you can trust. All you have to do is get references, you know, from other buyers, and you know, and do some research on their channels. How honorable is this person? How friendly? How accommodating is this person on other issues? You can, you know, I mean, those are the things that I didn't do. You know, I liked Ines enough to where I watched her. You know, I bought clothes from her, and I thought, well, you know what? I've been watching her, and I bought clothes from her. I mean, she seems to be okay, no problem. And if there is ever a problem, she would take care of it. Was completely convinced when I called her that night, or when I emailed her that night, that the conversation would be, oh, okay, oh, it shifted, oh, okay, you know what? Can you fix it, or do you want to send it back and I'll fix it? Oh, you didn't know about the body. Oh, I talked about the body at the beginning of the live, but you weren't there, so I didn't know. So I'm so sorry. So if you want, why don't you just send it back and I'll fix everything for you? And about the box opening, that's the issue. I would want to know how she would come around that one, because the box opening was sabotaged on purpose. So I don't know how she would walk around that, or talk around that issue, because if you do something on purpose just to make somebody upset, then you would not ever want to fix anything anyway. And that was her whole deal. She basically said, you know what, screw you, Andrea. I'm not fixing anything. I'm not doing anything. You don't know, you have no idea who you're dealing with here. And you are a newbie, and I've been here for a long time, and you have nothing to say, and you better keep your mouth shut, or I'm going to make your life hell. And that's what you did. And that's what it can happen to me. It can happen to Dollatorium. It can happen to anybody here. So just be aware. You know, we are in a recession. This country is in a recession right now, and you know, we are dealing with COVID. There's people starving. There's people that are in food lines for 4 and 5 hours, 12 hours even. And here in this community, we still see people that spend $70 on a doll bottle for a doll that doesn't need a bottle. You know, or pacifiers, or $100 outfits. But all we hear is, oh, we want to have peace. We want to have peace in this community because we have COVID. We shouldn't be, you know what, yeah, we do have COVID. And you know what, instead of spending $70 on a doll bottle that is not needed for anything, it will just sit on a shelf somewhere and collect dust. Why would you not take that $70 and go to your local food bank and, you know, pay it forward, you know, for the fortune that you have, that you can afford $70 on a luxury, on a non-necessity, on a hobby that is so frivolous. I mean, in an economy, in a time in America where people are out of work. I mean, I just don't get it. And for the young people here watching, you know, you don't need $70 bottles, you don't need $20 pacifiers, you don't need $100 outfits in order to belong, in order for you to enjoy your dolls. If you need anything, if you're young, you can contact me. As long as you're willing to pay for shipping, send me an email. Tell me what you know, what you need, what you want, what you would like to have. You know, I'm here to share. I have no problem. I'm not here to make money, clearly. Um, so, you know, just don't get sucked into debt that is not necessary. Um, you know, it is completely, it blows my mind how even in this time of crisis, people are just still spending more stuff on the dolls than they paid for the dolls themselves. I just don't get it. It's just, and for the drawers to be stuffed with stuff, and it's just, you know, it's you know, even if you can afford it, even if you can afford it, and I can afford it too, you know, but I think it's tasteless to do that. You know, it's like I haven't had a whole video in forever because I don't buy that much anymore because it makes me feel guilty to put that out there. You know, it's I haven't bought a doll. I bought my Sam. Oh yeah, I will do a video on him. Oh, jeez, um, it's coming. But it's, you know, we need to all be realistic, and we all need to realize that there are young people watching here, there are teenagers watching here, there are poor people watching, there are people with disabilities that get disability checks that can't afford this. You know, this is not, this is tasteless too. This is completely tasteless what is being done here. When I first got into this hobby, I didn't, before I was on YouTube, I never changed the dolls ever. The dolls were in the clothes that they came in, and they sat on the bed in the guest room, and I walked in and I admired them, I picked them up, and I looked at them, and then I put them back. Not until I came to this community that I started changing dolls. And, you know, I mean, I'm not saying I don't once in a while enjoy changing a doll, but that's not all I do. You know, that's not all I do with this hobby and with my channel. And, you know, it's just a very, very slippery slope, because at this point it looks more like, it's starting to look more and more like a fetish to me than a hobby. And I will discuss this a little bit further, a little bit more on my next Sunday edition. Yeah, the difference between a hobby and a fetish. And you know, you can leave me comments and let me know what you think. That's always just my opinion, and this is my channel, and I can voice my opinion on here. I've just always been taught to be very responsible with money. I have lived off nothing. I came, like I said before, with $200 in my pocket and made a life here, and that would have never been possible if I spent money like this, like in this community. This is like completely not reality. So with that being said, be careful what you put on the internet. Everything is grabbable from anybody. Oh, there was one woman, I can't remember what her name is, that wanted these little bunnies and angels, and I'm not going back into that store because COVID here in Atlanta is really horrible. I'm not going into any kind of boutiques, but I will let you have these if you can just, I'll just take them down and put something else up. If you want to just email me with your address, I'll send that to you. Not a problem. I just can't remember who it was now. But I didn't forget, but I just can't take a chance of going into any kind of small boutique right now for something like that. So let me know, and I will do a name reveal. I'm waiting for my light. It's supposed to come on Monday. Hopefully we have better weather, but it's supposed to be horrible again. But hopefully with the light, and David will help to film. We'll do a detail. And I also want to do like a comparison between the Sam and the Levi. Even though they are almost the same size, they're very different. So I wanted to show that as well. It's very interesting. If you're in the market for a Sam or Levi, so you can see the difference between the two. They're very different. So until then, have a happy Sunday. Be kind to one another and let your love multiply. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Oh, say goodbye. I'm gonna say goodbye. Oh, say goodbye. I'm gonna say goodbye.
Looking for someone all these years that can understand my fears. So when I get you, girl, why did I have to make you cry? Why?